Hi everybody, we are Saraf, Catalina, Tanush, and Bronte, and we will be presenting our design research proposition. We will give you an overview of the context, our precedents, our frameworks, redesign, and conclusions. So to start off with, the grand challenge that we will be exploring is waste and how to disrupt and radically change our current unsustainable production and consumption patterns. This relates directly to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 12, which calls for sustainable consumption and production patterns, and indirectly to multiply others. According to the UN, the global material footprint increased by 70% between the years of 2000 and 2017. It also reported that 1 million plastic drinking bottles are purchased every minute, and 5 trillion single plastic bags are thrown away each year. These are really alarming statistics and are just a fraction of the impact of a long-standing culture of overconsumption, materialism, and disposability. So through this analysis, we decided to focus our attention on household waste and the role that supermarkets play in enabling unsustainable behaviors. We will be exploring a solution in Sydney that is participatory, joyful, scalable, and adaptable to different locations and communities. Through this initial brainstorm, we started to think, how might we make the supermarket a site of research, experimentation for more sustainable, equitable, and meaningful futures? Make this supermarket a place of community and connection, and make the supermarket a site where responsible consumption and production is facilitated.
The following 3 precedents attempt to solve aspects of this issue. I will provide a very brief overview of each. Firstly, we looked at an app called Everco. It analyzes the shopping receipts of users and provides carbon footprint data. The strengths of this solution lie in its ability to use machine learning to link climate impact to individual action and promote personal responsibility. A strong incentive and disincentive framework is lacking, however, which is likely to hinder its ability to alter consumer behavior in the long term. Secondly, we explored Taiwan's 4-in-1 recycling scheme, as represented in the infographic. This system is successful because it provides economic incentives and makes all community stakeholders accountable in the waste management process. The scheme's success, however, is dependent on extensive cooperation and the adoption of many policies and regulations, which may not be replicable in other environments. Finally, the precedent that we have chosen to redesign is Waitrose Unpacked. This is one of Waitrose Supermarket's latest sustainability efforts aimed at minimizing plastic packaging. Customers are able to put their groceries directly into their own containers, bottles, and bags and pay by weight. While this solution is an improvement on existing options, it is not wide-ranging enough and fails to address the broader cultural context and infrastructure that has supported unsustainable production and consumption patterns.
Overcoming the grand challenge of unsustainable production and consumption involves a redesigning of the whole system. It's something we've strived to do with Co-opolis. So the supermarket's been reconceptualized as a community playground where responsible consumption and production is realized. 3 types of hubs interact to create a cohesive and participatory system. These include a grocery and cafe hub, workshop and living lab hub, and garden and crop hubs, which are connected by their proximity, their mission, and also through an interactive user experience system that exists in the form of an in-store interface, an instructional and educational app, and a reward scheme. So new ways of doing and being are enacted and result in a shift from a culture of overconsumption, materialism, and disposability to one of care for planet, care for country, and care for community. The supermarket has become a place to socialize, a place to learn, and a place to experiment in joyful and inclusive ways. Our current redesign is based in Sydney at the disused Newtown tram depot, seen on the right. For a system that is about reimagining, repurposing, and rethinking, it seemed fitting to select an existing structure with rich history and the ability to be brought back to life. Some of the theoretical approaches that informed our design include behavioural science, living labs, Indigenous knowledge systems, cradle to cradle, beyond human-centered design and speculative design.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I'll be presenting the redesign components of the reconceptualized supermarket. So this is how we have visualized the community playground, focusing on responsible production and consumption. The refuel stations are redesigned as round and compact modular booths so they can be easily rearranged, creating an open and flexible environment. They're made from bamboo, which is an incredibly sustainable material due to its durability and fast growing rate. The round and compact design of the refuel stations allows for an open space plan, unlike supermarkets, intended to ameliorate the supermarket experience by creating a fun and interactive atmosphere resembling open-air markets. Its exterior glass facade connects the interior to its surrounding organic gardens and in turn further advances its open-air concept. Reusable containers can be rented by anyone not carrying their own containers. These containers are made in collaboration with Defy Design, an Australian recycling company, and the community. The consumers bring their recyclable waste to drop off at the waste collection booths, demonstrating a circular economy. They also earn rewards for their accumulated recyclable waste, which can then be used towards shopping, renting containers, etc. Refuel stations are designed with interactive displays that inform the consumers about individual products' planet impact rating, calories, price, rewards, etc., and encourage them to make informed and mindful decisions. Usage of packaging is kept to a minimum, and product and packaging parameters are set to regulate their sustainability. Consequently, the grocery hub carries no product with low ratings, and only products and packaging rated 3 or above are approved. Food is either locally grown in the Co-opolis community gardens or sourced from local farmers and brands to facilitate social sustainability and minimize waste and carbon footprint by ensuring short food chains. This also helps in providing sustainable products to consumers within reasonable prices. And a reward system focusing on sustainability acts as an incentive to prompt consumers to make sustainable choices.
The vegetable picking garden comprises of two parts, the picking garden itself and the cafe. Co-opolis is a reinvented concept of outdoor markets that people would visit to buy fresh produce as well as socialize with others. The gardens would serve the customer and the cafes, making full use of all the produce. The picking garden would simply require the user to walk in and start scanning the vegetables they wish to purchase on their application. Once the scanning is complete, the application would provide information related to the vegetables like its price and expiry date. The cafes would be one of the main socializing spaces in Co-opolis that would provide not just healthy eating options but also act as recreational space for some of the workshops.
The workshop and living lab hubs are catalysts for new ways of doing and being. As seen on the screen, there are 3 different types that run within Co-opolis. The first type is the Material Innovation Living Lab that involves innovation partner Defy Design and citizens. Together, they learn about various materials and through a process of brainstorming, co-design, prototyping, and testing, come up with new products and uses for these materials. It's highly experimental and collaborative, and the innovation partner is there to guide participants with any technical aspects. The second type of workshop is Community Creatives. In this one, local creatives collaborate with citizens on highly entertaining, fun, and innovative upcycling projects. As with the previous one, they use materials sourced from the in-store recycling or community collection points. The participating local creatives lend their expertise to inspiring and guiding the group, and naturally, education about upcycling is embedded in all these processes. The final kind of workshop is Local Place and Taste. This workshop is led by local First Nations people and is an opportunity to centre local perspectives and pass on cultural and ecological knowledge. So the First Nations crop section is visited and locally grown native ingredients are harvested, passed around and tasted. Typical preparation methods are shared and lessons around seasonality and care are discussed. This workshop also includes a walking tour of the local area where First Nations living artefacts, history and cultural sites are visited and stories are shared.
Community members who participate in this system will have access to a rewards program that will be available through the creation of an app. Through the system, instead of accumulating points based on consumption, they will be accumulating according to participation. This will allow to overcome the intention-attitude gap and provide other opportunities to encourage sustainable consumption and production patterns. It will allow the creation of a sense of communal ownership and responsibility. The app, on one hand, will allow the users to keep track of their personal consumption with every purchase throughout the week, as well as set personal goals to reduce this consumption. It will offer an educational space where you can view seasonal ingredients available at the grocery hub, recipes to go with these ingredients, as well as book workshops or volunteer sessions in the gardens. People will accumulate points, as mentioned before, through reducing consumption, through depositing recyclables at collection points, and participating in workshops and living labs, as well as volunteering in the communal gardens, as you can see here. This app will suggest a less resource and carbon intensive choices for everyday goods and services that will allow users to take the Co-opolis learning experience home.
We believe that Co-opolis is an improvement on existing solutions because it seeks to address multiple contributing factors to unsustainable production and consumption patterns in the supermarket context. These range from minimizing packaging and long supply chains by growing seasonal produce to instilling values of stewardship and care for country through cultural workshops. The systems thinking approach means a greater likelihood of longer-term and sustained change rather than short-term piecemeal change. It is also highly inclusive and designed to provide the community with a sense of ownership over their future and the future of the planet. In many ways, our ambitious project reflects the sentiments of Bruce Mao when he states you have to be willing to grow. Growth is different from something that happens to you. You produce it, you live it. The prerequisites for growth are the openness to experience events and the willingness to be changed by them. Our references. Thank you.